There's a really disgusting trend that continues to happen in Hollywood where we see more and more of these terrible celebrities targeting young people and children and everything else. It really has been a thing that they've done for a very long time, but it continues to become more apparent with just how blatant their messages are that they are pushing and impressing on younger people. So leftist Lena Dunham debuts film targeting young adults and critics rave. Of course they do. So right now, as you can see, this film that we're going to be talking about coming from Lena Dunham is sitting at 70% over on Rotten Tomatoes. Let me see if I can pull this out a little bit here. So so critics are apparently for the most part loving this film. Let's go ahead and see what this is all about. Meanwhile, I should say also that if you look at the trailer for this film over on YouTube, it is getting ratioed. So the majority of people are not happy with this, and I don't think that the ratings from fans will be all that impressive when it comes to this film either. Outspoken feminist and leftist actress Lena Dunham is debuting a coming-of-age story aimed at young adults, and critics are already fawning over the medieval comedy. So we do have the trailer here that you can watch part of if you want to. To be honest, like it looks.
I say
whatever.
that you should be married, then married you should be.
Where is the Lady Catherine?
So it's about, terrible parents who are, who are basically trying to get her to be forced into marriage and everything else, and the controlling of parents over children's lives, and that's kind of what the messaging seems to be with this film. It's supposed to be a comedy as well, but I honestly, there wasn't really anything that made me laugh in the trailer. But all of that aside, let's go ahead and see what else she has to say here, because she has a lot of very eye-opening things and very eyebrow-raising things to say. The comedy is said to contain some slightly creepy elements, like a much older suitor who Birdie nicknames Shaggy Beard. Overall, however, the movie targets a younger crowd to deliver a message of female empowerment. We've seen how well that's gone with other things in the past, like, literally, like She-Hulk is something that we are dealing with presently that is also dealing with female empowerment, but is doing a horrific job as pretty much everything else that tries to deal with that subject. Catherine Called the Birdie currently has a 70% fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes. A delightfully witty, irrelevant, and modern-minded while carefully dodging the self-satisfaction and smugness that those descriptors can conjure up. Leave It to Girls creator Lena Dunham to deliver what's been missing from the field of princess movies all these years, namely permission for young women to be themselves. Which is such a stupid thing to say, because a lot of this is just gaslighting, okay? That isn't really what the issue has been, regardless of what their parents or the patriarchy might think. Now, in my opinion, I think that children should be very open to hearing what their parents might think. I think that it's very important for parents to play a life in the role of their children, or a role in the life of their children, I should say, especially when it comes to being good parents that offer guidance and wisdom and everything else, which, there's obviously a lot of issues that come with that, because there's a lot of really terrible parents out there as well. But all of that being said, that's not really the type of nuance that they want to deal with when it comes to these types of movies. The only message that we continue to get time and time again is that parents are bad. They're trying to hold you back. Don't listen to your parents. Another reviewer noted that the feminist messaging is toned down yet still present for the younger audience. The film goes in a different direction, more lighthearted direction, avoiding Dunham's R-rated humor for a more watered-down version of feminist themes. But not all critics were thrilled by the movie as well, but it just sounds like that this movie is going to be honestly pretty terrible, and it looks like that a lot of the people are agreeing with me when it comes to this, and as more and more people start to hear about these types of films, as more and more people see Hollywood continue to force feed this type of garbage to us, more and more audiences are being turned off, and that is exactly what we are continuing to see happening across the board.